Alright, what is up, my amazing MediaRant fans? So grateful to you guys. You're the reason I'm still here, and I'm not talking to myself. You know, I may do that when I'm off the air, but hey, when I'm on the air, you guys are there too, so thank you so much for being a part of MediaRant Reviews. And if you're not a MediaRant fan, and you like what I do, please become one. Hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Anyway, let's get going. I got a lot to cover today, a lot to talk about, a lot that's on my brain. That's what the show is about, just talking about what's on my brain and the news that came out recently and how I feel about it. Now, before I get going, I do want to say thank you so much to Screenwave Media for believing in me. I am now part of their network. This has just been, it has only been a few weeks, but yeah, I'm really excited. They got some great tools, and it's only gonna help improve my site and bring you guys better content. So thank you guys for jumping on board and believing in me, and also for 8-Bit Eric for being a great mentor. If you haven't seen 8-Bit Eric's channel, check it out. Shout out to him. He does some great retro stuff, some unboxings, a little bit of unboxings, and you know, some great reviews, a lot of Switch stuff that I've seen. A lot of times he beats me to the punch, but he's been doing it longer, and I really appreciate him just kind of coming alongside me, believing in me, and helping me to grow this channel and get the content to you that I know you guys love. So anyway, thank you all, love you guys, and let's get going. Let's talk about what's going on. As you guys know, this last week Nintendo announced a brand new console, sort of a brand new console. It is the 2DS XL. It was officially announced. It's a thing, it's a real thing, and this is not a rumor. And when I first saw it, I saw a little someone sent me a little text on my phone, hey, the 2D XL is coming out, it's a thing. And the first thing I thought of was the 2DS. If you guys haven't seen the 2DS, think Fisher-Price toy that can play 3DS games. But you know, it didn't have the clamshell design, and I just imagined the 2DS with a larger screen and thought how awkward. But I was able to see actually what it looked like, and it is a gorgeous looking handheld. First thing I got to say about it, it does look really, really cool. I probably won't buy one, and my reasoning is simply I actually really like the 3DS. I really like the 3D on it. If you've ever played Kid Icarus, you know, and of course the Zelda games look great in 3D, certain parts of it, of course. And there were just a lot of games that actually the 3D worked really, really well on. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was different. I was really impressed, especially the new 3DS. There is a big difference in the way the new 3DS looked when it did 3D and the original 3DS. So if it doesn't make you sick, you need to check out Kid Icarus and some of the other great 3D games. So for me, I like the 3D effect. I don't like the idea of not being able to use it. But if you don't care about it, the new 2DS XL is a great alternative. It plays all the same games. It's got the same power. It even has the new analog stick, analog nub, which actually works really well if you haven't tried it. So like I said, it looks like a really cool system. And here's the kicker: it's $149. So you can actually get a 3DS now, or I'm sorry, a 2DS, that family, you know what I'm talking about, for $149. The 2DS, I believe, is $100. You can get them used for $70, I think. But it's worth getting the XL. It's worth getting the bigger screen. The screen looks great. The whole thing looks great. It's just that the lack of 3D, for me, is a big deal. I would prefer to keep mine, and you know. But again, if you don't care about that, and especially if you don't have one yet, and $200 seemed like a lot for a handheld, which you have a lot. If you have a lot of consoles, I totally understand that. If it's just $200, can be a lot. That extra $50 you're saving, you get some really cool games, and like I said, it is a sexy beast. So, you know, I think it'll do pretty well. I think it's for a certain group, and you might even have people trading in their 3DSs for the 2DS. I saw I had someone come in and trade in a 3DS XL, the new one, for a 2DS when I used to work for a particular game store, which I don't work for anymore. I just remember how funny that was to me. I don't know. Anyway, there it is, 2DS XL. I think it's a pretty cool handheld, but I wouldn't buy one simply because I don't want to not have that 3DS effect. So that's just personal, but if you don't care, check it out. I will try to post a video where I actually have the physical thing, and I'll try to post a picture in the description so you can see what it looks like. But check it out, and like I said, you do at least need to look at the design. I do think the design is really cool. I was kind of hoping they'd come out with like a 3DS XL that looked like it. That's how cool I think the design looks. But then again, if you have one of the Zelda or the Monster Hunter or one of the fancy 3DS XL's new ones, I wouldn't trade those in anyway. But yeah, so that's my kind of my 2 cents on the 2DS. It's cool, but I would go with 3DS XL myself. But tell me what you think. I mean, are you like just not a fan of the 3DS? Would you rather have a 2DS? Is this something that looks interesting to you? If it is, let's just kind of open the discussions. I'm curious what people think. You know, because according to a lot of other media, game media or whatever, nobody uses the 3D on the 3DS, and I think that's bull, because I do, and I know other people that do, and other people that love it, and some people hate it, and that's cool, that's fine. But you know, it's not accurate to say that. So I'm curious if you guys do have a 3DS, if you do use the 3DS, and what games, and if you don't, you know, does it just make you sick? I mean, you know, what's the deal? Like I said, if it doesn't, definitely check out Kid Icarus or some of the other great 3DS games. But yeah, there's the news on that. You know, the next thing I want to talk about is there's been a rumor, and there's all kinds of rumor. You know that this is definitely in the rumor camp. But I wanted to bring it up just because I'm so jazzed about this, and I want to see what you guys think about the idea of this next story. So there has been rumor that Final Fantasy VII is coming out on the Switch. The new remake, the fancy, incredible looking remake, is going to come out on the Switch. Now, I have very mixed feelings. First thing I want to talk about is why I wouldn't necessarily want that to happen. The game, if you guys have been following it at all since it's announced at E3, the graphical fidelity, the you know, amount of detail that they put in, at least from the trailer, and supposedly that's close to what it looks like. You guys know how that works out, but even if it looks like Final Fantasy 15, I can't see it running well on the Switch. I just, unless they dumb it down, and I really don't want to see that. Now, if they put Final Fantasy VII, the original, I'd be a happy camper. But Final Fantasy VII on the Switch, I don't know. I mean, Zelda is a beautiful game, and anything that Nintendo does that's first party looks great on the Switch. But I don't know. I have kind of mixed feelings. You know, the other part of me is a Final Fantasy VII remake on the go with a tablet would be fantastic. I don't mind 720p or 1080p or whatever, you know. And if they do, just, you know, as long as they don't dumb it down on the PS4 because of the Switch, I guess I'd be okay with that. But most of the time what happens, as you guys probably know, you know, they'll make it for the weaker console and maybe just add some different effects here and there, but it you know, games that are made for the PS4, and especially the new PS4 Pro, if they try to add stuff to it, look so much better than ones that are third party that are made for a bunch of different consoles. So I'm really hoping that you know, that it doesn't affect the PS4 version, because that's really what I wanted on. As much as I like the Switch, you know, and I'll get both versions, to be honest. If they do make a Switch version, just so I have it on the handheld. But but again, this is rumor at this point, and I'm not even sure if it's going to come to fruition. I do know that Square really likes the Switch. They've as much said as they're going to really support it, more so than the Xbox. You know, I think it's because of the handheld functionality. You know, and as you know, in Japan, handheld stuff is really big. If they can take it on the bus, you know, then it becomes pretty popular. That's why the 3DS did so well there. Well, it's done amazingly well here too, but so I can kind of see Square wanting to go on board with the Switch, because I think they sell a whole lot of stuff on the Switch. And it's doing well here, so I can kind of see why they want to support it and why they think it's cool. It's a different kind of console, all that good stuff. But do I think that Final Fantasy, the remake, would be good on the Switch, would work on the Switch? Not really. I don't think Final Fantasy 15 would work on it either. You know, certainly not to, I don't want to be negative, and if they do make it work, I'm going to be a very happy camper. But so we'll see that, and again, that is squarely in the rumor. But what do you guys think? Do you want to see Final Fantasy VII on the Switch? Do you have both a PS4 and a Switch, or, you know, an Xbox and a Switch, and do you think it would affect, you know, putting it on the Switch as well would affect the graphical fidelity and what they can do? You know, are they going to make it for the Switch and they just make it look a little better on the PS4? You know, kind of how's that going to work? So let me know. What do you guys think? Are you even Square Enix fans? Are you even Final Fantasy VII fans? You better be. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, that's kind of that little bit of news I just recently heard. So kind of wanted to share it with you guys, share my thoughts. So not jumping up and down about it, but would like to see it work. Would like to see it work. I'm just a little bit, I'm not so sure it is going to. But anyway, I did want to kind of bring up something real quick for those handful of people that did look at my Zelda review. I did indeed delete it. I got rid of it. I will be putting up another Zelda review, simply because I wasn't happy with the quality. Not to say all my stuff comes out perfect, but the audio just sounded terrible, and it's very important to me to put out the best I possibly can, and it's going to get better and better as I learn to use new tools and get new equipment and all that stuff. But I didn't want to put something out that just didn't sound great. And it's such a phenomenal game. I will redo it. You know, and one of the strange things on that, and I think it caused part of the problem, was that the audio got swapped out, and I didn't do it. So for those of you who don't know, when you do a YouTube video, if you get a claim, if someone claims, like I was playing a game that had 30 seconds, maybe to a minute of a song, and the band who owned it from the 90s wanted the credit for it. So they basically wanted to make money off of my videos, off my hard work, and I said, not going to happen. So I was able to go into YouTube, and you can swap out the music, which can be good, but at the same time, if you're talking, it kills the talking. It makes it sound really bad. So I tend to try not to do that, or I just get rid of the music. So I kind of saw that it swapped the audio for some reason. I don't know if it was my partners doing that, trying to protect me. I don't know if it was Nintendo themselves, because they're known for being kind of hard to work with sometimes when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I don't know. But anyway, just to kind of let you guys know, I will have another Zelda review up if you guys like my reviews. But I will tell you this, kind of spoiler alert, it is a solid, fantastic game. Go out and get it. You're seeing a lot of 10s. I pretty much agreed with it. And it's just a solid game. So go pick it up. And again, I will do a re-review of it. But I'm loving every minute of it. So there you go. But if you see my video kind of come up and disappear, that's not YouTube, that's me just saying I want the quality to be better, I want the quality to be higher, because it's really frustrating to be a viewer and have just really crappy quality. So yeah, that's that. And another thing I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about is there have been people saying that the Switch is going to pass up the PS4 in sales and all that. Now it's doing really well, it really is, but I don't think, at least in this console cycle, that that's going to happen. The main reason being, I think it's going to sell really well, but they really are just two different beasts. You know, you're not getting console mode. See, I play the Switch mostly, and I've said this before, but I play it mostly in handheld mode, and as that, it is a fantastic, one of the best handhelds probably the best handhelds I've ever had. I always call it the Vita done right, you know, because, you know, the Vita kind of, it was a great little console, but it dropped, Sony quickly dropped first party support, and so it didn't have a lot of first party stuff, a lot of indies, which was cool, but they're already coming out with stuff, constantly announcing stuff on the Switch. So it is a great handheld to me. It is a cool console as well. But when I want a game that I'm just going to get lost in with the 4K and all that stuff, I'm going to go with the PS4 Pro. You know, and of course, depending on Scorpio and how that comes out, which will probably be amazing. You know, those will be my two go-to consoles for that kind of stuff. I just don't. I don't know why the media feels like they have to compare and have to be like, oh, Xbox Scorpio is going to come out and beat the PS4, and oh, the Switch is going to beat the PS4's sales and all that stuff. And I think that's a bunch of garbage, to be honest. I just don't see that happening. I think there's room for all of them, and I just feel like Nintendo's always done their own thing. I think the Switch is going to do its own thing, and I don't think it's going to affect Sony sales. You know, I think the PS4 is still going to do great. It has announced a bunch of amazing games. Right now, I think it's got the greatest games coming out. Switch has a lot of really cool stuff too, but of course, as we've talked about before, still waiting on Microsoft to announce games. So, I mean, it's great to have a better version of, prettier version of Forza that runs smoother. But, you know, I've been waiting for some stuff. So, come out with stuff. But as far as the Switch overpassing Sony's console, it's just not going to happen. But I did get some kind of exciting news, as we all did, with Phil Spencer, my man Phil. Love Phil Spencer. They are going to announce a new IP for the Scorpio. So, don't know much about it. Don't know if it's going to be an Xbox One game prettied up for the Scorpio, if it's going to be actually a Scorpio exclusive. I think that's what it is. With the horsepower that thing's going to have, I'd love to see an exclusive on it. So, you know, that would throw me to no end. And I would really love to see what Bethesda can do on the Scorpio. You know, because if we can get mods on the Scorpio, we can do some really cool mods. Some of the mods we couldn't do on the other systems that I can do on my PC, I think would be great. But yeah, so like I said, PS4 is going to be just fine. Switch is going to do great, and I think the Scorpio will do fine too. They all have their own audiences, and I'm actually getting more and more sold on the Scorpio as I hear about it. And if Phil Spencer comes out, and I think he will during E3, and just say, hey, look, we got this new IP. You know, the Scorpio is going to be a reasonable price, and you know, we're gonna do a little bit more with the Scorpio than we even announced before. Chances are I'll be on board and I will pick it up. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you interested in the Scorpio? Is this something you're excited about? You think it's overhyped? You know, or you're just not sure yet? Let me know what you think. You know, I am really curious to kind of get an idea of what my fans and what you guys think of the whole Scorpio thing. You know, and please no fanboy wars. You know, if you have a PS4 and you're only a Sony guy, that's cool. I totally get that. They're definitely coming out swinging. Or if you're a Microsoft person, you only like Microsoft stuff, that's cool too. I mean, they do have some great games again, just waiting for them to actually announce some new games. Because as a game reviewer and someone who does a lot of Let's Plays, it's really hard to get excited about a console that doesn't have anything right now. I do think they'll change that. I've talked about that before in my last rants, and then I'm getting more and more excited as I get more news. So we'll kind of find out what's going on with that. But yeah, I mean, I think that's really what I have for you tonight for this week. And again, this will be a weekly show, so I will try to kind of catch up with you guys and let you know what's going on. And and by the way, I will be coming out with a Mario Kart review real soon here, and another phenomenal game. So if you do have a Switch, go pick that one up. Alright, take care, you guys. Love y'all, and we'll see ya next time when I feel like ranting.